with Wyatt. He's over in college this weekend, and he's trying out the Bedpan guitar that Greg Brown made and gave to me in Kansas City. Remember I showed this to you last week? What do you think of it?
It's cool.
It has a different sound, doesn't it? It's kind of how would you describe the sound it makes?
Metallic.
Metallic.
Probably because it's, you know, metal.
Hey, you know what we did last night? We went out and saw The Martian.
Oh,
Martian was pretty good.
So good.
We both have read the book. I think I told you guys about that, and I don't want to compare the book to the movie. Two separate things. The movie was awesome. The book was awesome. But the special effects were really good, and then really I think that just the whole way that you kind of felt Mark Watney's isolation and his sciencing things up. I'll let Wyatt get on about his business. Thanks for showing off the Bedpan guitar. Okay. I want to show you something really creepy that happened the other day. It was like Monday or Tuesday, real early in the morning. So let me take you up the front stairs to my house. There's the rustic fall display, everybody's favorite project, how can you forget it, which is right next to my front door. Now, let me show you what I saw the other morning at 5 o'clock. I opened up the door, getting ready for a run. It's a nice day outside. I look down, there's a pumpkin from the display sitting right here, right in front of my door. So is that like the creepiest thing ever? It's weird. Remember, I get up like 4:30, 4:45, so somebody had to literally come through my driveway, setting off the light, the motion light, walked up the stairs quietly, grabbed that pumpkin and placed it right in front of the door. I didn't hear it. So it must have been sometime in the middle of the night, maybe 2 in the morning or something. It had to have been one of those 450 thumbs down people. What do you think? Yeah, that was weird. Just in time for Halloween. Hope you guys are doing well. Have you guys submitted your picture for the Magic 10 campaign? This is today only, October 10th, 10/10. Take a picture of yourself holding up 10 fingers and post it on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and use the hashtag Magic10. Basically, we're just trying to get as many people involved in Maker's Care as possible and trying to get as many people to donate just $10 today as we can. Those small donations really add up, so we're really trying to do this surge for the Make-A-Wish Foundation today. So please take part in that. If you see somebody else who has posted something with hashtag Magic10, share it. Don't forget there are prizes you can win. Elbers, it was really cool to get them on board, and Plaid Crafts. And so there's some really cool things you can win just by taking a picture of yourself. I also want to thank all of you again who have been submitting planes to the Maker's Care website. Keep checking those out. Keep building your planes and posting them over there. There's a lot of them on there for you to check out, and a lot of videos too. A lot of YouTubers have been shooting videos, so that's really cool, and I hope more of you get involved. The response to yesterday's pantry project was pretty good. I was really happy to hear that, especially coming off the previous week's disaster of a project. But the pantry is really something that my wife has been wanting for a long time. That pantry, our existing one, that big door, it's just one of those things. When they built this house in 1955, it probably seemed like a good idea. It's like, well, there's this big empty space. Let's put some storage in there. We'll put some huge pull-out drawers, but the drawers are too far apart and then they go back too far. This is always a problem with drawers and shelves. I'm a huge proponent of making drawers shallow so that stuff doesn't get piled up and you can't get what's underneath, and making shelves shallow too, like I did on the new pantry, so only one jar can be on a shelf. You know, you can't get multiple layers of junk. And you know what is another problem when you have a mess like that? It creates more junk because you can't find what you're looking for, so you think you're out of it. You go to the store and you buy a new version of that, and then you get home and you realize you have 2 of those things. The most common question I got on the project was, why did I put the piano hinges on the outside of the case? My first thought was that they wouldn't be strong enough if I screwed those into the edge of the plywood, you know, where all the plies go together. It might have been, especially if I put a little dab of glue on each screw. I'll bet you it probably would have been strong enough to do it that way. But since I was just using plywood, I thought I better go with what's going to be strong, because there's going to be a lot of weight on those doors with all of the stuff in them, and plus I constructed it out of 3/4 inch plywood, so I didn't want them to sag even a little bit because there's only less than 1/8 of an inch on the bottom of the cabinet that those doors can open, and if they sag even a little bit, it's going to hit that and then they won't open. After all is said and done, I'm not really opposed to visible hinges, but I can understand from an aesthetic point of view, some people didn't like seeing the piano hinges on the side. When I started to design that project, my goal wasn't to make a single sheet of plywood project. It's just funny that it actually worked out that way. After I designed it in SketchUp and I started laying out the pieces in Illustrator to see what I would need, they all fit on a sheet of plywood. And I thought, this is so cool. What kind of luck is that? And of course, if you're observant, you'll notice I didn't use one sheet. I actually used scraps of plywood, 1/2 inch plywood for the shelves. Hey, I've got 4 new $10 a month supporters over on Patreon I want to give a shout out to. I want to thank Dave Pavelka. Thanks a lot, Dave. Will Schwab. Will, I really appreciate your support. Anna Kastrup, I really appreciate your support too. And finally, Corby Schrammel. Thank you all so much for enjoying the show enough to support it over there on Patreon. I really appreciate all of you. Oh my gosh, it's hot today. We're having another heat wave out here, I think, in California. It got up to like over 102 in LA earlier this week. It's crazy. I don't know if it's ever going to rain again. Okay, everybody, don't forget, take your pictures. Magic 10 today. I'll talk to you next week.